Are you applying for a health and social care visa and not sure if you can bring your dependents with you? Must you apply at the same time? What if you come first? What if you come late? What if they come later? How much does it cost? How long does it take? In this video, I'm going to be explaining all that. So this video will be focusing on how to bring a dependent on the health and social care visa, which is a type of skilled worker visa that used to be called the Tier 2 visa. So who are dependents? The first thing to know is who qualifies as a dependent. So for the UK purposes, that can only be your children or your partner. So your partner can be your husband or your wife or a civil partner or even an unmarried partner. You have to prove that you're in a marriage or in a relationship that is legally recognized in the UK. So if you have like 2 wives or 2 husbands, for instance, and that is legally recognized in your home country, that is not recognized in the UK. So those both partners are not going to be able to apply for this visa, guys. So maybe choose one. I don't know. You figure it out. If you are unmarried, then you have to prove that you have been living together for at least 2 years prior to the application date of your visa. So you can use any proof, for instance, if you have maybe joint accounts, if you have like bills and like things to show that you actually live together. In terms of your children can only come as dependents if they're under 18. They can only come, you can only apply for them if they're above 18. If, for instance, you came with them when they were like 16, 17, and now you're renewing the visa and you're all here, and then in that case, then you're able to renew the visa even if they're above 18. If your child is over 16 but under 16, they can only be your dependent if certain conditions apply. Number 1, they must still be living with you, unless they're in full-time education or like in boarding school or at university. Number 2, they themselves must not have children or be married, because you can actually get married at like 17, and in that case then they cannot be your dependent. So you won't be warning your children, especially teenagers. Personally, I do remember secretly wanting to get married to my boyfriend when I was a teenager, and yeah, so it can actually happen, guys. Do be making sure you tell your children so that they know that their immigration status is going to be at risk if they do consider getting married or even getting pregnant. Those are the implications, unfortunately. In terms of the money needed, you do have to show money that you're going to be able to support them before your first salary comes. This is what is called the maintenance funds, and it's £285 for your partner, £315 for one child, and £200 for each additional child. And remember that you yourself must also be showing that you have £1,270 to begin with as well. So if you're applying together, then you're going to have to add up how much money you really need for all of you and have that money in your account for at least 28 days before the application date of your visa. You don't have to show this money if your employer is going to take maintenance funds on your course, although you still want to be having the money, because usually even when they tick, they don't actually give you the money, but you do need it. Like, you need money to survive when you've just arrived. So the visa costs £247 per person per year. That's for if the visa is for a period of length less than 3 years. In terms of length, you can only apply for the length of your job contract. So if they're giving you 1 year, it can only be 1 year, but it's going to cost the same as if it's a 2 or 3 year visa. If your visa is more than 3 years, then that's £479. For how long it takes, it does take up to 3 weeks to get a decision, and you can pay for a faster decision if you want to, and I'll just insert the prices here to see how much you would pay extra if you wanted to get a faster decision, like maybe you're in a hurry or you have some urgent issues. The documents that are needed include the main applicant's passport, the certificate of sponsorship, the passports of each of your dependents, the proof of funds, that's the bank statements if you need to, or it would be ticked on your course. You need a TB certificate if you're from a listed country like Uganda, and also a criminal record certificate for your adult dependent. And then just be making sure you're not putting too much things, like just put what has been required. And obviously you need proof of relationship to all these people as well, like I mentioned previously. So that will be a birth certificate or maybe a marriage certificate or whatever proof you're showing that this person is your partner. If you're applying for your dependents at a different time from yourself, that's also okay. You just have to be showing the same documents, and the course also usually is going to be the same. If your baby is born in the UK, then you're going to have to apply for them as well, especially if you plan to travel outside the country. If you don't plan to travel outside the country, then you don't have to apply for a visa for them. They can just stay here until maybe you're applying for indefinite leave to remain, in which case they automatically can apply for citizenship. And yeah, but do bear in mind that the NHS is not free for your baby, even though they've been born in the UK, for when they're older than 3 months. So it's only free for the first 3 months. So some people, what they do is that they pay for private medical insurance to be able to access health services, and then don't have to apply for a visa. I think this would probably be maybe if you're coming up pretty close to applying for your indefinite leave and don't want to bother applying for a visa, and you're not planning to travel out of the country as well. And that's it really. If you do need a refresher of how to apply for the Tier 2 visa or the Health and Social Care visa as a main applicant yourself, then do watch this video where I explained all the steps that it takes.